African American, Mexican, they always made for the biggest fights in history.
Terence Crawford should fight David Benavidez if they both lobbying so hard to fight Canelo Alvarez.
A lot of these good fighters fight each other, and a lot of these great fighters, they fight each other. It's too many champions.
Floyd Mayweather, even after years of retirement, remains active with boxing, sometimes with exhibition matches, sometimes with his fiery words.
I'm behind the scenes. So sometimes a fighter can retweet something, just to get the people out of their seats or get the people going. And Terence Crawford, hell of a fighter.
He just made his most bold move, one that has the potential to reshape a legacy. He's been vocal and forthright, explaining why Terence Crawford, the pound-for-pound king, should take on the battle that everyone believes is impossible.
So I'm going to ask you, if I say these fighter names to you, what is the first word that comes to mind?
Okay.
So the first one is Floyd Mayweather Jr.
Great fighter.
David Benavidez.
Good fighter.
The last one is Terence Crawford.
Good fighter.
The newly crowned pound-for-pound undefeated 5-division world champion, 3-division undisputed world champion, superstar boxer, who is a first ballot Hall of Famer once he retires, Terence Bud Crawford. Floyd Mayweather said in an interview with Fight Hype, Floyd Mayweather made a statement that Terence Bud Crawford should face off against the Mexican-Ecuadorian monster, David Benavidez, the 2-time WBC super middleweight and reigning WBC light heavyweight.
It all began in a candid interview, and Mayweather was asked about Crawford's next move, coming from Mayweather, who not only retired unbeaten, but also orchestrated the biggest fights in history. This was not just talk. He began by gently recognizing.
Wait. I think when he was like, I really super skillful fighter, very talented fighter.
He expressed admiration before laying down the challenge. With Canelo Alvarez dealt with for Crawford, Mayweather pierced through the confusion with a shockingly easy yet cruel solution. He pointed to David Benavidez, the feared Mexican monster, and added, if both men wanted to fight Canelo, they should forget about him and face each other instead. His statements were straightforward and uncensored.
And I talked about that, a while back. And I thought about this, if he wanted to go to 168 and he want to fight Canelo bad and Benavidez want to fight Canelo bad, if they can't get Canelo, they can fight each other. Benavidez and Crawford.
Whoa, wait a minute. Wow, for real?
I'm sure that both of you guys are chasing one fighter. If y'all feel like y'all chasing him and y'all can't get that fighter, then y'all should say, fuck it, we'll fight each other. I don't know. I just threw that out there because you told me about Benavidez trying to fight Canelo, and I know that, Terence Bud Crawford has been trying to fight Canelo. They both been trying to get that fight done. And it seems like both have been trying to get it done extremely bad. Now, if you can't get it done, then make you guys fight.
And suddenly, an idea that most fans had never considered appeared on the table.
Stop chasing Canelo, bro. You feel me? The man don't look like he want to fight you. You feel me?
Right.
And this kid there, the business of the game, bro. Sometimes it just ain't right, bro.
However, this is not just another struggle. It's a battle between distinct divisions.
And David Benavidez, those are some fighters that...
I'm just not really praising fighters. It's just giving guys their props, saying, this guy can fight.
To grasp the absurdity of Mayweather's suggestion, look at the scales. Terence Crawford is a talented artisan who began his profession weighing 135 pounds. He recently won the 168-pound division after defeating Canelo.
You gotta have 4 arms.
I know.
And 6 eyes to beat Floyd.
Is Floyd better than you? Keyshawn beat Tank?
Keyshawn beat everybody. Him and Shakur.
How you feel about them not fighting each other? That's cool?
Yeah, that's cool. They don't need to fight each other.
Was there anybody ever...
They can beat up everybody else.
Was there anybody ever like that in boxing with you? Because not really Sean Porter, right?
Nope.
No friends in this business for you.
I think Tim Bradley would have been like that.
Okay.
I think me and Tim Bradley would have been like that. I wouldn't have fought Tim. If the opportunity presented itself against Floyd, you would have, though, even though you admire him so much and he's so great. But you
Floyd, yeah, because I wasn't as close. Me and Floyd close now, but when Floyd was boxing, I wasn't as close with Floyd like I am now.
How do you beat Floyd, though? Like, since nobody's been able to crack that code.
You think I would tell you?
He ain't fighting anymore. So that fight ain't gonna happen.
You gotta have 4 arms.
I know.
And 6 eyes to beat Floyd.
Is Floyd better than you?
I think you got your answer there.
Nah, I didn't hear nothing. Is Floyd better than you? Some fighters say, even like Gervonta Davis.
Beat your
Okay, that's a no. That's a no.
However, David Benavidez is a natural super middleweight. He's a massive puncher who weighs well over 180 pounds and barely makes the 168-pound limit. Some believe his future is as a light heavyweight 175 pounds. This is not simply a weight differential. There is also a significant size difference, as they both stand on opposite feet. It is a weight class abyss. It's a match between a tactical genius and a behemoth, posing the ultimate boxing question. Can sublime skill actually outperform brute power and size?
Turkey, he did a great job.
He was involved in Riyadh season, and they own Ring Magazine now. So the reason why that's significant is the Ring Magazine belt is one of the only belts that kind of been, there's a bunch of different organizations that are sanctioning bodies. There's the WBO, the WBC, the IBF. There's all these different, it's very fractured, right? But Ring Magazine has always been like, Roy Jones Jr. was the Ring Magazine middleweight champ of the world, the Ring Magazine super middleweight champ of the world. Like, that's the gold standard, is Ring Magazine.
So there would be one belt.
They can do that and then overpower everything else with money and then really put the compelling fight.
Crawford agrees that the risk is high.
Would you ever entertain a fight with the Mexican monster, David Benavidez? But you want Canelo. But you want Canelo.
You gotta understand, like.
But I gotta ask you, bro, because I can't, you know?
My thing is, Benavidez is a big dude. Yeah. You know what I mean? Not to say I won't fight him. I fought his brother. You know what I mean? His brother was big. I fought him. But, you know what I mean? Benavidez is a big dude. Benavidez is like 6 foot something. You know what I mean? Then you gonna come in 190, 200 probably. You know what I mean? Like, you never know. Like, that's a big dude. Like, you know what I mean?
And he's skilled, man.
You know what I mean? So it's like, you know, I might as well go to heavyweight if I fight Benavidez.
A retired legend's opinion is one thing, but fights in current boxing are not won in the gym. They are created by men with billion-dollar checkbooks. And just when the boxing world was considering Mayweather's proposal as a wild dream, the game altered dramatically.
This is the gloves of the champ. He gave it to me, and this is important gift from him. It's mean a lot to me. We do it. I like the logo.
Yeah.
Very, very beautiful logo. The champ have a lot of surprise for his city and for the future. He want to rest now for 1 or 2 months. Then we will tell you the surprise.
Sure.
Thank you.
But if it was you against Crawford?
To be honest with you, if I fought Terence Crawford, I would definitely use my size, my reach, my weight to my advantage. Crawford is a very smart fighter, but I guess thankfully I'm not fighting him.
The most powerful man in the sport, Saudi Arabia's Turki Al-Sheikh, joined the conversation. Whispers on social media and on boxing forums, sparked by one of his cryptic tweets, suggested that the new boxing kingmaker was more than just curious. He was allegedly considering the matchup. Suddenly, this hopeless fight received the support of a guy who can turn any fantasy into a reality with a simple phone call. The proposal was no longer just words. When this notion became actual, the boxing world not only discussed it, but erupted.
But if you were at 168, when we think about anybody at 168 outside of Canelo, the first name that comes to anybody's mind is David Benavidez. What about the potential for a fight like that?
No, like I said, man, that's a big dude. You know what I mean? He ain't even at 168. You know, when you look
Right, not now. That 175, yeah.
He probably can't even make 168 no. But when you look at these fights, you know, especially coming up, you gotta be realistic. You gotta, say, all right, how big is this dude really is? Because
David Benavidez, he can fight his ass off, you know. But me personally, I believe in my skills and my abilities. I could beat anybody. This is what he talking about, because he like, man, he's not a big dude. He just kept saying he's not a big dude and you can beat him. And then when I looked into it, I'm like, damn, Bill, right. You know what I mean? So then it was just like, okay, cool.
The community was violently divided down the center. On one side, experts like Kofi Gentua screamed, "That's not fair," believing that putting a smaller man like Crawford against a monster like Benavidez was a step too far. A reckless disregard for fighter safety.
Benavidez is too big, too strong. We don't want to see a champion do so much and accomplish so much and then end his career with a bad choice, a bad fight that he shouldn't take. I wouldn't do it.
However, the reaction on the opposing side was equally fierce. Figures such as Lonnie B were forthright, predicting complete carnage with words like, "David Benavidez will beat the saint out of Terence Crawford." Size and force were realities that no amount of talent could change. The discussion raged everywhere, including online, barbershops, and gyms. Was this a legendary challenge or a surefire success?
But just wanted to get your thoughts on when Canelo made that comment. Just what's your thoughts?
I don't have a problem with it. I mean, he's speaking how he feels. He knows what he's doing. He's been in huge fights. He's made an enormous amount of money, several hundreds and hundreds of millions of dollars. He's had a fantastic career thus far. He's fought everybody that he possibly could. And David Benavidez is just another challenge out there potentially for him. I'm excited to, as a fan, I would love to see the fight. But at the end of the day, Canelo's calling the shots.
Amidst the deluge of opinions, the spotlight ultimately went to the two men at the center of it all. What were their thoughts? David Benavidez, who had been pursuing a legacy-defining fight for years, did not hesitate. He made it plain that he welcomed any challenge, sure that his strength would be sufficient to prevail regardless. However, Crawford's camp purportedly saw things very differently. In fact, allegations circulated that Crawford's personal trainer instantly rejected the proposal, expressing unequivocally that the dangerous size difference constituted an unneeded and reckless risk.
He hinted at that. He was like, Benavidez.
Yeah, he
Turkey,
did.
so.
Turkey just posted that this morning, wondering if Benavidez can make 168. Maybe he has plans or ideas of maybe trying to match up Benavidez and Terence Crawford.
No,
man. No, they ain't doing that fight. Maybe planning on vacating the belts.
No, we ain't gonna vacate the belts. We just gonna sit where we need to sit for a minute, and then, just like I said, get back in the gym and do our.
Crawford is the king. He has other, more conventional options, such as facing Tim Chu or Keith Thurman. Standard high-level conflicts involve significantly less risk.
Or whoever to, you know what I mean, make a quick buck or make a quick little penny, but I'm looking at the bigger picture. You know, this is a legacy fight. This is a generational fight, you know, that will be talked about for years.
Yeah.
You know, obviously, if Terence doesn't want to do that, or there's guys like, you know, I know Tim Tszyu and Keith Thurman are fighting here soon, and I guess he could possibly fight the winner of that. Or do you think, you know, I know there's still that guy, Jaron Boots Ennis, floating around. It's that younger name floating around at welterweight. I know, you know.
I think they'd be a hell of a fight. Boots Ennis. Just like we always say, somebody got to give you a chance. Somebody got to give you an opportunity and a chance. So somebody got to give Boots the opportunity and a chance. Whether it's Terence or somebody else. It seems like, you know, it's been difficult for Crawford to get that Spence fight done. It's been difficult for him to get the Canelo fight done. So his other option is probably Boots Ennis.
On the other hand, it is not limited to Benavidez. Yaron Boots Ennis, another undefeated monster, lurks in his own division. Many people consider this struggle to be equally dangerous.
Man, great. Bud always been like that. Without a question, south. You know what I'm saying? South. You think there's anything left for him, coach, or is it time for Bud to move on? Or I'm trying to figure out who he gonna fight next.
160, you can see him fight 160.
I wouldn't do nothing crazy. He looked at excellent. Hey, Islam. He looked at excellent. Is there anybody the most from No, I'm trying to figure out what their team gonna do next. I want to see what's
He's
next.
talking about 160, coach. I mean, the only thing down there is maybe like a middleweight tournament, 2 fights undisputed, something like that. But if not that, then what for buck?
Ooh.
Well, they were talking about Jerron Ennis going to 160. Possibly going. Jerron Ennis going to 160.
If he go to 160, then we got another mega fight.
You think that's a mega fight?
I don't know that yet, but I'm saying in the boxing fans that know boxing would say that's another mega fight.
This new scenario reinforces the argument of pundits, such as Greg Hackett, who claims a does not require Benavidez. Crawford has already attained the peak. According to them, why would the monarch willingly enter the lion's den when there are safer, more rational alternatives? However, Crawford is no stranger to this high-stakes game of risk and politics. It's the same war he fought simply to get here. For years, he was embroiled in a bitter, increasingly public dispute with his famed promoter, Bob Arum. Crawford felt Top Rank was unable to provide the megafights he needed to establish his legacy. Most notably, the elusive confrontation with Errol Spence Jr. The split was nasty, with accusations flying that Arum couldn't get major matches and Crawford wasn't a huge draw. Crawford had to battle for his own liberation, relying on himself to take charge of his fate. This past lends a dimension of irony to his current situation. He broke out to pursue greatness on his own terms, and now that he's officially crowned king of the mountains, he's being challenged to leap into a volcano. But to properly appreciate why this conversation is taking place, look at the man who isn't in the fight. Canelo Alvarez. For many years, Canelo was the face of boxing, but all changed in September 2025 when Terence Crawford expertly demolished Canelo. Crawford stated that he not only took his belts, but also his title.
See this after. Is it true that you walked up to him and you gave him the belts back?
Yeah, for sure.
Did that happen?
Yeah.
Why did you do that? Why'd you do that?
They his belts. You know, I want to be the one to, give them back to him.
But you mean actually they're your belts? You took it, you won.
They're my belts, but my belts is gonna come personalized. Like his belts is personalized. Them his. I took his titles. The belts is going home with him. The titles is coming home with me. I'm gonna get my new belts, and those belts is going home with him. And I just felt like it was only right that, I be the one to present them back to him.
I promise you.
When you in his situation,
right?
The belts don't matter. That was like Floyd Mayweather. Who gonna tell Floyd Mayweather a belt matter? They make belts for you at that point.
Right.
The belts don't matter. Once you get to a certain peak in your career, you outgrow the belts because you got to pay for the belts anyway. Absolutely. Like I'm gonna give you these belts. They gonna come and watch me regardless. So now it comes to a point where we negotiate the percentage of the belts because we gotta pay for the belts. How can I be champion of the world and I gotta pay you to be champion?
The setback was so unexpected that renowned figures in the sport, including trainer Ronnie Shields, openly suggested that the Mexican legend quit. However, in a startling twist that demonstrates how much power he still possesses, Canelo acknowledged that he still has a lucrative 2-fight deal with Riyadh for the remainder of the season. This results in a weird dynamic. A fallen monarch who is written off by some yet remains one of the most powerful financial powers in the sport.
If it was up to me, like we keep on saying, we want to see Benavidez. Canelo, hell of a fighter, but my personal opinion, he's ducking Benavidez. That's just my personal opinion, and I'm allowed to speak my mind. That's just what it is. We want to see Benavidez. Let's make it happen.
You just size him up. Yeah. You just size him up, especially when you going into a bigger weight class like that. You size him up and you see your advantages and his advantages. A lot of people might say, oh well, we want to see Benavidez, Canelo, but to be real,
you don't want to see that.
Yeah, as a boxing fan, it would be a fight to see.
Crawford's triumph left a power vacuum, allowing fighters like Benavidez, who had spent years chasing Canelo, to find a new target. But Mayweather's proposition was not the only bombshell he dropped during the conversation. He also addressed the key question that every top-tier fighter must ask themselves: When asked about Crawford's risk versus reward, Floyd avoided discussing weight or skill. He talked about motivation. He stated that combatants must consider whether their motivation is for legacy, money, or both. This was not a throwaway line. It was a clear view inside the thoughts of an accomplished businessman. He even delivered a masterclass on the matter, disclosing that for his own fight against Canelo, he allowed Canelo's management pick the catch weight.
Kind of surprised. I was like, yo, like that's a risky fight. At least I thought at the time it was a risky, even though you made it look like easy.
And for the record, a lot of people said it was at a catch weight. I mean, I didn't choose the catch weight. Canelo did. I didn't ask for catch weight.
Yeah, I remember that.
I just know I remember somebody from the Canelo team had done an interview and said, "Yo, we'll fight Floyd at the catch weight." So my team jumped on and said, "Well, tell me what catch weight you guys want to fight at." They chose the catch weight. We said, "Let's do it." It didn't matter to me if he wanted to fight at 54. I would have fought anyway. But I think when we fought at 53 or 52, I don't know.
By allowing his opponent to choose their apparent edge, he eliminated any opportunities for excuses before they even entered the ring. This adds a new layer to his difficulty. Is he simply suggesting a fight? Or is he encouraging Crawford to think like a genuine aside to cut through a sport that he believes has become diluted by too many belts and champions and return to the old school truth? The two best fighters are entering the ring to prove it. So that's it for today's video. If you loved it, remember to like, subscribe, and ring the bell symbol so you don't miss any future videos. Don't forget to leave your comments in the comment area. Stay tuned, and we'll see you in the next.